Namo Namaha. On behalf of Team Dharmawiki, I welcome you all to the third session in Dharmawiki Talks, a series of talks on various topics in the Bharatiya Jnana Parampara or Indian knowledge systems. Here is a short video about dharmawiki.org.
Vayam putramaditeryo vidarta.
Dharmawiki is envisioned as an endeavor to build narratives, learn, contribute, discuss, and reflect on the innumerable angles of Bharatiya Jnana Parampara to leave behind a legacy for the generations to come. So, we are always looking forward to connect with all those who would be willing to contribute towards documenting the indigenous knowledge of Bharata. You can stay connected with us through social media platforms like GeoChat, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to Dharmawiki newsletters by visiting dharmawiki.org and clicking on Subscribe to Dharmawiki newsletter button. The older newsletters can be read by clicking on previous Dharmawiki newsletters tab that is visible on the screen. The series Dharmawiki Talks by dharmawiki.org aims to reach out to inquisitive seekers of Bharatiya Jnana. It is an initiative of the IITB Honeybee Project, and we are thankful to our sponsors, the Ashok Goel Trust and the Hindu University of America, for their continued support. The topic for today is Rutucharya, Adaptive Lifestyle for Holistic Health, which will be presented to us by our very own Dharmawiki author and team member, Dr. Devashri Siddesh Pathak. Dr. Devashri ji is a practicing Ayurveda physician for the past 8 years. She has a private clinic in Thane apart from working as an honorary Ayurveda consultant at Multi-Speciality Medical Center in Thane. She has done her BA-MS from Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, Nashik, and is an MD in Kaya Chikitsa or internal medicine in Ayurveda. She has worked as an online adjunct faculty for the course on Ayurveda pharmacology at National University of Natural Medicine, Portland. She has also worked as an assistant manager in the field of research and development for a herbal pharmaceutical company and is experienced in product design, planning and executing clinical trials for medicinal formulation, etc. Her research papers have been published in scientific journals like International Journal of Pharmaceutical Investigation, etc. She has also delivered talks on various topics of health and Ayurveda on various platforms. Devashri ji writes articles on social media platforms and magazines to spread awareness and knowledge of Ayurveda in a simple manner. She has been immensely instrumental in building the entire category of Ayurveda on dharmawiki.org and has written and edited innumerable Ayurveda-related articles at dharmawiki.org over the past 5 years. We are indeed happy to listen to you today, Devashriji, on Rutucharya, adaptive lifestyle for holistic health. Over to you. We also request the participants to kindly remain on mute and post any questions that they may have only in the chat box. Towards the end, we will have a Q&A session when all the questions will be addressed. Thank you. Over to you, Devashriji.
Thank you, Kanakvalli-ji. Namaste, everyone. I'm Dr. Devashri, and I will be presenting the topic of Rutucharya today. So Rutucharya is basically an exclusive concept described in Ayurveda, and it comes under the preventive healthcare section in Ayurveda. Today we will try to see what Rutucharya is and how we can make use of this knowledge to improve our health and well-being. So let's start the discussion. We will be seeing this topic in the given theme. We will first try to understand what is Rutucharya, then why there is a concept of Rutucharya in Ayurveda. We will try to understand it from the Ayurveda's perspective. Then we will also see whether the Western science understands any relation between season and health. Then what are the benefits of following Rutucharya as per Ayurveda? How Rutucharya has been taught to us traditionally. And then as an example, we will try to see what is the Rutucharya for the current Rutu, which is Vasanta Rutu. So let's start the first section. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, Devashriji.
Okay. So the first section is what is Rutucharya. Now, if you look at the word Rutucharya, it is a Sanskrit word and it is made up of two parts. The first part is Rutu and the second part is Charya. So Rutu, if literally translated, it means to go, something that is not constant or that keeps on changing. When this word is used in reference to the kalamana or a time, then we know that it is or it indicates a specific time period which is not constant, which keeps on changing. Therefore, Rutu, when used in reference to the kalamana or time, then it signifies seasons. So Rutu means seasons. Now this kalamana or measurement of time has been beautifully explained in Vedanga Jyotisha and Ayurveda classics. Various treatises of Ayurveda like Sushrut Samhita also describe this measurement of time. If you see the picture in the slide, you will find that the time has been described in this manner. And here, the smallest measurement of time has been said to be Akshinimesha. Akshinimesha is the time required to blink an eyelid. So this is called as the smallest part of the time. And going further, the largest part is Yuga. Below that is Samvatsara. Samvatsara means year. So in this hierarchy, the Rutu or the season stand above Masa and below Ayana. So 2 Masas means 2 months of the Hindu calendar or the Panchanga make up 1 Rutu or 1 season, and 3 Rutus make up 1 Ayana. So we have 2 Ayanas. One is Uttarayana and the second is Dakshinayana. Uttarayan and Dakshinayana, they make up 1 complete year, which is known as Samvatsara. Therefore, in 1 Samvatsara or in 1 year, we have 6 different Rutus. We can say that Rutu is a form in which nature expresses itself, and that too in a sequence. It was known to our ancestors that this happens because of sun, and this happens in a cyclical manner. There is a specific sequence to it. Now, Rutu has been described with reference to the time here. But then, why Ayurveda has given this so much importance? So it is said that in every season or in every Rutu, the rasa that is dominant in the nature, it changes. Therefore, the property of every substance that is in nature at that point of time also changes. This is basically everything related to the balance of 5 elements in the nature. Every matter or every part of the matter in this universe is made up of 5 elements, which are known as Panchamahabhutas. You can see Prithvi, Tej, Jala, Vayu and Akash. These are the 5 elements or the Panchamahabhutas which make up our body as well. Therefore, when there is change in the balance of 5 elements in the nature, in the outside world, the balance of these 5 elements in our body also changes, and therefore our ancestors has given significance or high importance to the measurement of time and understanding its effect on our health. Now, what are these 6 Rutus? You can see in the table, I have given 2 different lists for the Rutus. We know that there are 6 Rutus in a year. The first list of seasons or Rutu says that there are 6 Rutus named as Shishira, Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad and Hemanta. Now, Shishira Rutu corresponds to the winter. And as per the Hindu calendar, the months that it covers are Magha and Falguna. Vasanta Ritu corresponds to spring, and the months are Chaitra and Vaishakha masas. Grishma corresponds to summer, and the months covered are Jyeshtha and Ashadha. Then comes Varsha Ritu, which corresponds, and Shravan and Bhadrapada are the 2 masas that are covered. Then comes autumn, which is known as Sharad Ritu, and the months in this season are Ashwina and Kartika. And the last is Hemanta, which is again winter or late autumn, and the month it covers are Margashesha and Pausha. Now, this is the commonest and most widely accepted list of seasons. But in Ayurveda literature, you will also find one more list of seasons where this Shishira Rutu has been deleted, removed from the list, and one more Rutu is added, which is known as Pravrut or Pravrush Rutu, which comes before Varsha Rutu. And then the 6 Rutus become Vasanta, Grishma, Pravrut, Varsha, Sharad and Hemanta. The corresponding months are presented in the table. You can easily read it. Now, there might arise a question, why such 2 different lists of the seasons are available in Ayurveda literature? So, Sushruta Samhita gives explanation about it. Acharya Sushruta says that Ayurveda's focus is on the human health. So when the strength of a human being has to be explained in association with the seasons or the Rutu, then usually the first list of Rutus is considered or referred. But when Ayurveda has to explain or tell you the right season for detoxification, which is done by the Panchakarma methods in Ayurveda, then for that specific reason, the list of Rutus that need to be referred is the second list. So these are the 2 different lists of Rutu. The corresponding months and the seasons have been explained in the table. So we have these 6 Rutus, and we now know what Rutus are and what are the 6 different types of Rutus. Now we'll see the meaning of second part of the word Rutucharya, which is charya. So literally, this term means conduct, behavior or activity. So when this word charya is used in union with the word Rutu, then it indicates a seasonal conduct, seasonal behavior or a seasonal lifestyle. Therefore, we can say Rutucharya means a specific behavior to be adopted during the changing state of seasons or the changing nature or climate, or a specific seasonal regimen for different types of Rutus. So what are the components of this regimen? Diet, sleep, activity, lifestyle, and all other do's and don'ts related to your life have been described under these seasonal regimens known as Rutucharya in Ayurveda. Now, after understanding what Rutucharya is, let's try to see why it is required. We will first see the Ayurveda's perspective about it. When you study Ayurveda, you will understand that Ayurveda has its foundation or roots in various Indian knowledge systems or various branches of Indian knowledge system. It includes Darshana Shastras. So there are some theories which are derived from the other Shastras like Darshan Shastras, and these are the base of the entire knowledge of Ayurveda. One of the important theory is known as Loka Purusha Nyaya or Pinda Brahmanda Nyaya. Now, according to this law, man epitomizes the universe. It means that human being is basically a miniature reflection of the universe. Man is in continuous harmony with the universe. Man and nature are interconnected. Therefore, when human is to be studied, then human cannot be studied or should not be seen in an isolated manner, but in context of harmony between man and the environment. Because whatever is there in the man or a human being is also there in the universe. Universe will reflect as a change in human being as well. And this is known as the Lokapurusha Nyaya or Pinda Brahmanda Nyaya. Therefore, when the season changes, it is going to affect the internal environment of the human being, and hence Rutucharya has been given an importance. Now we get some clear sutras which state how the sun, moon, and the wind and outside nature affect the 5 elements in the nature. So you can see the sutra, Swabhava Suryasya Saumyangsha Kshaya Kartrutvadi. It clearly states that the sun reduces the gentle properties of the matter. Then the moon, it increases the gentleness. It brings about the nourishing change in the nature. And the wind, it causes the drying of the 5 elements. Now, since the human body is also composed of these 5 elements, this effect of sun, moon, and wind will also be reflected on the human body. Now, what is the significance? Now, when Ayurveda describes a person as a swastha, then there are certain criteria. It is stated that the one who has sama dosha and sama agni. These are the 2 important criteria. When such criteria will be met, only then a person will be called as swastha or healthy. Now, what are doshas? Doshas are basically the biological energies that control entire functioning of your body. Every person has all the 3 types of doshas and a specific level of doshas for his proper functioning. But these levels are specific for every individual, and in normalcy, these will indicate the prakriti. So for every person, a normal level of dosha will be different, and that will be his or her own prakriti. But when these doshas either reduce or aggravate beyond the normal level, then they can cause certain disease and cause the ill health. Along with that, there is one more important factor known as agni. We can translate it as digestive fire. But basically, it is a principle inside our body, an entity which transforms every element taken from outside environment and converts it into the material which is similar to your body tissues. Therefore, these are the 2 important factors which need to be in a normal level in order to be healthy. Now, when the seasons change, the 5 elemental balance in the nature changes. The elemental balance inside our body is also going to change. These doshas means the energies, agni, dhatus, everything in our body which controls the functioning of our body is also made up of 5 elements. So naturally, this balance is disturbed. Therefore, the dosha balance will be disturbed. The agni balance will be disturbed. And as a result of it, a person may not remain swastha and may develop the diseases because of the change in season. Therefore, any change in outside nature is going to change the 5 elemental balance and the internal environment of the body. Now, it has been clearly studied and explained that in which specific season, which dosha in your body will increase. If you see the picture, you will understand there are 3 columns. The first column is for accumulation of doshas. Now, when doshas rise beyond the level, but they are placed in their location, in their site, then it is called as accumulation. At that time, they will show certain signs and symptoms, but they will not be able to cause any disease. So there are certain get only accumulated, but when they increase beyond that level, they spread all over the body and they are capable of developing a disease. Then it is called as the aggravated state of doshas. You can see in the image that vata naturally gets aggravated in the season which is known as varsha, which is the rainy season. Pitta dosha, which is the heat element in your body, it is naturally aggravated in Sharada Rutu, which corresponds to autumn season. And the kapha dosha, which is the cold element in your body, it gets naturally aggravated in the season which is known as Vasanta Rutu, which is the current season. And in this way, there is a specific mention about in which season which dosha is accumulated because of the effect of time and the weather, which dosha will be aggravated, will call diseases, and naturally when it will get pacified. If you look at the table, how the doshas change, how their levels change in every season has been clearly indicated. And as we have seen in the previous slide, every dosha has a specific season for its natural aggravation. Now, along with dosha, the agni, the digestive fire inside your body, is also going to get disturbed by the season. And this also has been clearly explained by Ayurveda acharyas. If you see the table, you will see that your agni or your digestive strength or your metabolic capacity is best when it is a Shishira Rutu and Hemanta Rutu. Both these Rutu or season correspond to the winters. So in winters, your digestive capacity is good or at its best, and it is very weak in a Rutu which is Varsha, Pravrut, or which corresponds to the rainy season. It is also weak in Vasanta Rutu, which is the current Rutu, and it has a moderate strength in Grishma and Sharad Rutu, that is in summers and the autumns. Now, Agni is one such entity in our body which decides what should be taken inside, what goes inside the body, and what should be removed. So it is kind of a check post. So when this Agni is at its best, when it is functioning very well, it will take care of your health at its own. It will decide what needs to go in and what should be thrown out. So you will be safe, you will be healthy. But when it is weak, then you have to take extra care. And there comes the role of Rutucharya in maintaining your Agni, so that then the Agni will take care of your health. Okay. And the last factor is the strength, or it is called as Balam. So Balam is basically, even though it is translated as strength, it indicates your stamina, your endurance, your overall strength, and also includes your immunity. So Ayurveda acharyas have deeply studied the effect of seasons on your overall strength and immunity, and they have given the clear explanation in which season or in which Rutu your health, immunity, and strength is going to be best, and when it is going to be very weak or poor. So you can see in Shishira and Hemanta, that is in winter season, your strength is going to be at its best. It will be moderate in Vasanta and Sharad Rutu, that is in the spring and autumn, and it will be poor in summers and in rainy seasons. So this is how these are the determinants of your health, and they change as per every season. In every season, there will be change in the levels of their strength and their general levels in the body, normal levels in the body, and their strength. And then once this internal environment is disturbed, you may easily fall sick. Now, after understanding how the seasons affect the determinants of your health as per Ayurveda, and hence how Rutucharya helps in balancing these changes, we will try to see whether there is any such perspective in Western science as well. Okay. So I'm sure all of you must have read about the theory of adaptation. So when seasons change, what we see, the change happens in temperature. The amount of light that we receive also changes. And as a result, the vegetation, the availability of food for consumption, that also changes. Owing to this, behavior of all the living beings change as per the season. And this is known as adaptation. So basically, adaptation is a process which enables any living being or organism to adjust to their environment in order to ensure their chances of survival. So this is a struggle for every organism to adjust to the environment to increase its chances of survival. How these adaptations are seen? If you can see, the trees usually they shed their leaves to conserve the water and nutrients in the winter seasons. Flowers die off in winters because there are no insects for pollination. In this way, trees adapt to the changing nature. About animals, you must have heard about the migration of the animals when the seasons change, migration of the birds when the seasons change, in order to increase their chances of the survival. Some animals also hibernate in certain seasons to protect themselves from the seasonal changes. insects spend winter as pupae. So these are like kind of adaptations the other living beings perform in order to ensure their chances of survival in the changing season, which may not be desirable for the better functioning of their internal environment. Now, trees adapt, animals adapt. Then, do humans adapt? Does season affect humans as well? Just think about it, you will understand. Physiologically also, in general, in some seasons, we feel very fit, very energetic, our appetite is good, our strength is good, and there is generalized feeling of well-being. Whereas in some seasons, we unnecessarily feel dull and depressed. So seasons do affect our physiology, that is for certain. Then pathologically, yes, we know that there are some seasonal infections or seasonal flus, the outbreak of which is seen in certain seasons. Then there are some seasonal allergies. So those who are allergic to something, they may get acute attacks or episodes of allergy in certain seasons. Then you get dry skin in winters. People may get affected by heat stroke in summer. Then it is also a common example that during rainy season, the waterborne diseases increase. The number of cases having diarrhea and dysentery due to infected water also increase. Then there are increased incidences of asthma attacks in winter season. So in this way, we understand that seasons affect our physiology as well as they also can develop new diseases or give a stimulus to generate the acute episodes of existing diseases. Going further, we can also find some such calendars, or we can call them the disease calendars, which clearly mention in which specific month of the year there is outbreak of which specific disease. Okay, so these are such disease calendars. And from this, we understand that there are certain infectious diseases caused by the microorganisms present in the nature, which grow and spread rapidly in certain seasons. They affect individuals and then we fall sick in those seasons. But there, since these are the infectious diseases, the cause of these diseases has been identified to be certain microorganism that grows and spreads in that season. Therefore, after having this knowledge, which methods were developed to prevent the diseases because of these? So the flu shots were developed, vaccines were developed. In certain countries, they do take flu shots before certain seasons. So this is kind of a preventive healthcare methods in the Western medicine or the Western science. But we cannot limit ourselves to only this knowledge. It is also known that some non-infectious diseases or the non-communicable diseases, they also exacerbate in the certain seasons. For example, there is sufficient data to tell that most heart attacks happen in the winter season. Then asthma attacks are also seen more increased in number in the winters. Then you might have seen around you that elderly people who already have some bone or joint related problem, their problem aggravates in the winter season. So with those flu shots or with the vaccines, you can prevent development of diseases which are developing because of the microorganisms. But then what about the non-communicable chronic diseases, which are non-infectious, but they do aggravate during certain season change? So for that, we currently do not have any method to improve our health, boost our immunity, and prevent the exacerbation of these diseases. But then why such diseases happen or they aggravate during certain season? Initially, it was not known, but currently there are few researches which show the relation of a hormone known as melatonin, the level of which changes as per the day and night, and it is also responsible for your immunity. One more interesting research is about gut microbiome. Gut microbiome is basically the collective genome of over 100 trillion microorganisms in human gut. And it is said that they produce so many metabolites that they are more than that of the host itself, and therefore they replace most of the functions of the host, consequently influencing the immunity of the host. And this composition of microorganisms is found to be changing according to the season. This could be probably the reason why the immunity also changes as per the season. However, even after having this knowledge, we do not have any methods, or we cannot make use of this knowledge to prevent certain diseases and improve our immunity naturally with this knowledge. And therefore, basically, no natural measures to strengthen the host's innate immunity are available in the Western science currently. No interventions or preventive measure to improve the overall strength, adjust to the changing season, prevent development of the new diseases, and prevent aggravation of already existing non-communicable diseases. No such interventions are available. And there is where the role of Rutucharya is very important, because Rutucharya basically teaches you a method to adapt to the change in the natural surroundings. It teaches you the right way to eat, to act, to behave, and to live, to keep one's immunity strong and not get affected not just by the infectious diseases, but also by the aggravation of the non-communicable diseases, and which are caused by a certain causative factor which we cannot avoid. It is inevitable, and that is known as kala, or the time, or the changing time. So basically, Rutucharya is providing you the knowledge of natural methods to keep your health intact, to boost your immunity when the time is changing. In Ayurveda treatises, we get clear mention about what exactly the Rutucharya does inside your body. So Acharya Charaka in Charaka Samhita says that when a person follows a seasonal regimen or Rutucharya correctly, then his bala and varna will increase. So he does not limit himself by saying that it will prevent the diseases caused by the seasonal changes, but there he also says that his existing strength and varna will also increase. Now, what is balam? We have seen earlier. Balam is basically your strength, stamina, endurance, and your immunity. So if you follow Rutucharya, if you follow the seasonal regimen, your immunity will naturally increase. And what else will increase? Your varna will increase. So varna is a Sanskrit word which refers to the complexion or luster. So basically, this complexion is a product of two things. First is a good quality of blood, or pure blood, or a pure rakta dhatu, which is a seat of your prana shakti, or the life energy. So more pure your blood is, more luster will be there on your skin, your complexion will be nice. And also, since it is a seat of prana shakti or a life energy, the overall health and longevity will also improve if you follow this certain seasonal regimen known as Rutucharya. Now that was about the effect of Rutucharya or benefit of Rutucharya following for the seasonal immunity. But there are also certain add-on benefits of having the knowledge of Rutucharya. Now what Rutucharya is telling you, it is telling you the knowledge of methods, or how you should eat, act, and behave when the time changes, when weather changes. Therefore, let's say you are traveling from one part of the globe to the other. The climate is going to be different in both the parts. So when you travel, there are chances that you will fall sick after landing onto the second place. So if you have the right knowledge of Rutucharya, you know how to behave, act, and eat in a particular season or in a particular climate. So when you travel, if you apply the rules of Rutucharya pertaining to that particular place and season at that time, then there are there is certainty that you will not fall sick because of the change in the temperature, weather, and the overall climate. Also, to understand the right diet and behavior when you are living in a specific place. We have certain patients which are living in different part of the globes currently. So when they ask us what is the right kind of diet and lifestyle that they should follow when they are staying at that place, then definitely what comes to our rescue is the knowledge of Rutucharya. One more important thing is, day and night have been divided in such a way that a particular dosha aggravation related to the season and in that part of the connected, and hence for a particular part of the day or night a particular season has been allotted. You can see that in the picture. For certain parts, a certain Rutu has been ascribed. So if you have a knowledge of Rutucharya correctly, then you will also understand in that part of the day what to eat, what not to eat, how to behave and how not to. So these are some added advantages of having the knowledge of Rutucharya. Now this knowledge of Rutucharya, its benefits, its utility to improve the health and longevity was known to our ancestors. So they had made an effort, it seems, to incorporate it into our traditions and rituals in such a way that even if someone does not know the science or the rationale behind certain code of conduct, he will anyway follow it so that his health will also be taken care of. What we find, there were certain yajnas which were performed in the Rutu Sandhi Kala. We find such references in Brahmanas where it is said that in a particular Rutu, and specifically in a Rutu Sandhi Kala, that is a transition from one season to the other. In that period, when the diseases are at the peak, the number of cases or number of patients suffering from certain diseases due to seasonal changes are maximum. In that specific time, they used to perform certain yajnas. They have also mentioned in which season for which dosha a particular yajna was performed. There is also a mention about yajnas which were used like Rutushtomiya yajna to reorganize and rearrange the sequence of the season or to revitalize the seasons. So this was how the knowledge of Rutucharya was implemented here. The second is about vratas. So usually some vratas which are specifically performed in certain seasons, the puja samagri that you need, some offerings that you need for that vrata, those are usually those which are abundantly available in the outside nature in that particular season. So this is how Rutucharya is used here. And then the most important part is of the festivals. The traditions and the rituals in the festivals, the food we eat, the way we celebrate a certain festival has some roots in the Rutucharya knowledge. Let's try to understand it with one example. Navaratri is one festival which is celebrated everywhere in India. Now, in spite of that being a festival, what is the usual code? It is advised that you have to fast for 9 days. Now, it is a festival. You are celebrating it, but how can by fasting you can celebrate it? Why is it said? It might have some roots in the dharmic knowledge, but from the perspective of Ayurveda, we will try to understand why fasting is important here. So Navaratra comes in the Ashwin Masa. Ashwin Masa is a starting of the Sharad Rutu. So it is the season when the rains have stopped and the October heat has started growing. So during this transition, what happens? The naturally accumulated pitta dosha or the heat element inside your body during rainy season now gets aggravated in Sharada Rutu due to October heat. It spreads all over your body and it can cause certain diseases due to the heat. Moreover, naturally in this season, your Rakta Dhatu or your blood will be vitiated. It will not be pure. And since it is a site of life energy, we need to protect it. We need to purify it. So if you look at the non-pharmacological methods to purify your blood described in Ayurveda, non-pharmacological means where without using any medicine, a treatment is given. So when you see the list of the treatment for purifying your blood dhatu, one most important non-pharmacological method is said to be upavasa. Upavasa means fasting, staying away from food. And when you do upavasa or fasting, then your blood will get purified, your pitta will be controlled, and your agni will be improved. So then it will take care of your health. So in this way, even in the festivals and in the methods of celebrating certain festivals, the knowledge of Rutucharya was incorporated by the ancestors, and hence Rutucharya has been indirectly maybe the part of our life since many years. So this was all about the basics of Rutucharya why this knowledge is important, how this has been implemented, incorporated, and how it can benefit us. Now, after understanding the basics, we will try to understand the application of Rutucharya, the knowledge of Rutucharya, to improve our health with one example of Vasanta Rutucharya. So, Vasanta Rutucharya means a specific seasonal regimen for Vasanta Rutu. Vasanta Rutu corresponds to the spring, and as per the two lists of the season that we saw earlier, it corresponds to 2 months, Falguna and Chaitra, or Chaitra and Vaishakha. Okay. Vasanta Rutu is also called as Kusumakara or Ruturaj. Ruturaj means king of all seasons. Why is it said so? So it is believed that origin of life on earth by Bhagavan Brahma was done on the first day of this Rutu, or first day of the Chaitra Masa, which is the beginning of Vasanta Rutu. So the origin of universe happened on the first day, and therefore this is the first season in the list. Also in the nature, what you see, the trees that have shed the leaves, they now start growing tender green leaves. There is flowering, then there is flowering, then there are abundant flowers in the nature available. The weather is not very cold, not very hot. So overall, it is kind of a pleasant season, which is described as Vasanti Asmin Sukham, and therefore it has been named as Vasanta Rutu. According to the Gregorian calendar, Vasanta Rutu is a period of year ranging from mid of the February to mid-April, or to the north of India, maybe mid-March to mid-May. But for those who are in the southern part of the India or in the central part of India, usually the mid-February to mid-April is the period of Vasanta Rutu. Now, after knowing the months of this Rutu, let's try to see what is the status of the bioenergies in our body in this season. We have already discussed this in the previous slides, where for every Rutu, which dosha aggravates, how the agni status is, we have seen. But specifically for this Rutu, now we know that Vasanta Rutu is a period for aggravation of Kapha dosha. Now it is also said that along with abundant amount of Kapha dosha, which is a slimy mucoid substance in the body, and basically it's a bioenergy which when in normal level controls all the body functions and keeps you healthy. But it is now aggravated beyond level so that it can cause diseases. And along with Kapha, the Pitta dosha or the heat element in your body will also be increased little bit. So you have to take care of both the doshas, but specifically of the Kapha dosha aggravated in your body naturally in this season. Now, what is the status of Agni? Agni is a digestive fire. Now, it represents the heat element in your body. We have seen that Kapha dosha is naturally aggravated. Kapha dosha is a substance which has earth and water element dominance. So, water and earth elements are of the opposite quality of that of the heat element. Therefore, naturally, when Kapha is more, the Agni, which represents the heat element inside your body, will be weak. Its strength of digestion and metabolism will be poor. Then what is the status of your other body tissues, or what is the status of your overall energy in this season? So it is said that your energy or health and immunity will be moderate, not very strong and not very poor. So now we know this is the change in our body internal environment which has happened because of the changed season. Now, if we don't want to fall sick in this season because of the changing nature, we have to take care of these three elements. For this, what should be done and what should not be is called as the Vasanta Rutucharya. So let's first try to understand what should be strictly avoided in Vasanta Rutu. What we should not eat, what diet is not recommended. The first and important is eating food that is very heavy to digest should be discouraged. So what is heavy to digest food? Any food that requires more time for digestion, which when eaten you feel heavy, bloated, or you might get hyperacidity or any other disturbance in your health, then that is called as a food that is heavy to digest. You must avoid it because your agni capacity, the power of or the strength of your digestive fire is less, so it will not be able to digest this food. It will lead to generation of a certain specific element known as armor, which can cause the diseases. Then you should also avoid the food that is high calorie or which is fatty. More ghee, more oil, it should be avoided or discouraged in this season. Especially the fried food should be avoided. And then which food items to be avoided? So in very simple words, foods that are sweet and foods that are sour in taste, those should be best avoided, because it is said that those are of the similar properties of that of kapha dosha. So since it is more in body, you don't need it anymore to aggravate it further. Instead, we need to reduce it. So we should avoid the food that is of the similar qualities of kapha. Therefore, we should avoid sweet and sour food. Hence, desserts, ice cream, sweets should be best avoided in this season. Then what lifestyle you need to take care, what activities and how you should behave and not. Now, daytime sleep should be strictly avoided because it is clearly stated that when a person sleeps in daytime, the kapha in his body, the undesirable or bad quality kapha in your body will increase. We don't want to get it further aggravated when it is naturally more in level. Therefore, we need to avoid daytime sleep strictly. Then contact with the cold air, immediately starting the ACs and high speed fan, then starting taking the cold drinks or the cold food should be avoided because we have more kapha currently. The season when this is encouraged will be the summer, which will be Grishma Ritu. So currently you have to have some patience. Do not take such kind of a food or avoid contact with the direct cool air to prevent the further aggravation of kapha. Now let's see what should be followed in diet in Vasanta Ritu. So what you should eat? You should eat food which is light for digestion, which is less fatty or low on calories. Then here specifically the old grains are recommended. Old grains like barley and wheat, because they will not increase the excess moisture in your body. We don't want it because it is again of the similar qualities or properties of that of kapha. If there is any superfood in this season, then we must call honey as a superfood in Vasanta Ritu. It serves many purposes. Specifically, it reduces kapha naturally, kapha dosha, and it also has a drying role. So it is kind of a superfood. You can use it in many ways in the in your daily routine. If you are a non-vegetarian, then meat that you should take is should be from the animals which are habitant of the Jangala Desha, that is dry and deserted regions. So the poultry meat is okay, but seafood best to be avoided. Then certain fermented drinks like asavas and arishtas, which are prepared from various herbs, are recommended in this season. Now, these are the fermented drinks which have naturally generated alcohol in it, and property-wise, they reduce your kapha as well as they improve your digestive fire. Therefore, this particular formulation method or the medicinal formulations are recommended in this season. And then the alcoholic preparations made up of black resins, which can be equated with wine, and alcoholic preparations made up of honey, they are also recommended because they have some medicinal benefit to reduce the kapha, improve your digestive fire, and to keep you healthy. If you have to drink a medicated or a infused water, then the water to be best infused with the dry ginger powder or honey or some herb like jalada. The botanical name of it is Cyperus rotundus. It is also called as musta in Sanskrit. So you can infuse your daily drinking water with either dry ginger or honey, which is easily available. Which tastes you should prefer in this season? So it is recommended that you eat more bitter, more pungent in taste, the substances which are hot in potency and which are drying in nature, because they will be best suited. They will reduce the kapha dosha and improve your agni. However, while making all these food choices, you must be conscious and there should be a balance. Overindulgence in any type of these foods is also not recommended. If you are already having certain kind of disturbance in your body, some disease, some illness, then it is best to consult your Vaidya and then get the proper regimen for this season customized for you. Now, what should be the activities in this season? The most important activity is Vyayama, which means exercise. So, exercises which will have a strengthening effect are recommended. The right amount of exercise will help to keep the check on kapha level. It will improve the agni and it will keep you fit. The second thing that you can include in your daily routine in this season is Udvartana. So, Udvartana is a Sanskrit term which describes scrubbing of your body with herbal fragrant powders. The most common example everybody must be knowing is of the uptan that we use in Diwali. It is a herbal scrub. So basically it is a therapy which keeps check on the kapha dosha in your body. And therefore, basically after doing exercise, when this therapy is done, then naturally your kapha dosha will be reduced. And hence it has certain benefits to be practiced in this season. Although it is a part of, it is considered as a part of dinacharya, daily routine, but at least one should include it in this season specifically for its therapeutic benefits. Then is aghata. Aghata is basically injury by the foot. But here in this context, aghata means a deep tissue massage or a kneading type of massage. When such massage is conducted in this season, again, it will help to strengthen your body and reduce the kapha level. Because it is not gentle in nature, which is the property of kapha. Therefore, it is opposite in quality, will help to reduce the kapha level. Then perfuming is also advised. Now, what is the role of perfuming? So it is said that kapha is one such element in your body which is required to increase your strength. So if you want more strength, you need to have a good quality and more quantity of kapha in your body. But now this is the season when we need to increase our energy without increasing the levels of kapha. And this is one wise selection from the activities or your daily routine, that when you apply perfume, you know that there is sudden revitalization, re-energization of your body, mind, senses, everything. Suddenly the level of energy increases without any rise in the kapha dosha. Therefore, this is a very wise selection. You should include it in your routine. And certainly after performing Vyayama, Udvartana and Aghata, or at least Vyayama and taking a bath. It is also said that one can use warm water for all the cleaning purposes. Then there are certain therapies which will help to reduce the naturally aggravated kapha dosha. It is said that the kapha dosha, it resides in our body in certain locations. So specifically the head neck region is the site of kapha dosha. So when it is naturally aggravated, it will be abundant in quantity in this specific region. Naturally, when you fall sick, you will get the diseases related to these body parts: nose, ear, throat, eyes, head, and neck. Therefore, there are certain therapies which are recommended to be incorporated in your daily routine to keep a check on this aggravated kapha dosha in this specific location of kapha. So kavala means gargling with medicated powders. So when you make decoctions with these gargling medicated powders and you do the gargling, then the excess kapha will be removed and your health will be preserved. There is one more method which is known as dhumapana. Dhumapana basically refers to the medicated smoking. So with the herbal cigars, medicated smoking is performed in a scientific manner after learning it from a learned eligible Vaidya. Such medicated smoke enters inside your nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, throat, and a part of head and neck region where this medicated gargling cannot reach. And with this smoke, the excess kapha will be eliminated, reduced, and you will be healthy. Then remains one organ in the head neck region which might also get affected by the excess kapha level, that is eyes. And to take care of eyes and to maintain their health, the therapy or the thing that is recommended in your daily routine is anjanam. Anjanam means collyrium. Applying anjan or kajal like substance in your eyes. It is not just kajal, there are certain medicated anjans available like Saviranjan, Strotanjan, which help to reduce the excess kapha in your eyes and keep them healthy. Now, along with this, it is also recommended that when the heat outside is harsh during the daytime in Vasanta Ritu, one should reside in the shaded places like gardens. Now, that was about the diet and lifestyle that one should follow during the Vasanta Ritu. Then there are certain seasons where Ayurveda recommends every healthy person to get a panchakarma done. Vasanta is one such Shodhana Rutu, wherein Ayurveda Acharya recommend for a person to get Panchakarma procedure like Vamanam and Nasyam done to reduce the kapha level in naturally aggravated in Vasanta Rutu. So first is Vamana Panchakarma. Vamana means therapeutic emesis. In this procedure, a person will be given a medicated ghee for a certain period. He will be given oil massage as well as the steam, and then a medicine will be given to induce the vomiting. When the vomiting will be induced with this entire preparation, the aggravated kapha dosha all over the body will be removed through this vomiting. And since this aggravated, unwanted kapha dosha is out of your body, thrown out, eliminated, you will be healthy. Then the second panchakarma which is recommended in this season is Nasyam. Nasyam refers to the nasal instillation of medicated oil, decoction, juices or powder. So it is said that nose is the route through which if a medicine is given, it can easily and quickly affect your head neck region. So it is kind of a doorway for your head neck region. Therefore, since kapha dosha naturally aggravated will be more accumulated in the head neck region, to remove it out or to eliminate it from the nearest way, Nasyam is the preferred panchakarma. But again, these two procedures you have to do or get them done under the medical supervision. There are other certain panchakarma or the sub procedures which are in the panchakarma are recommended in this season. Those are Dhumapana, we have already seen about the medicated smoking, Kavalam, medicated gargling, that also we have discussed, and Anjanam, collyrium. So these are the kind of panchakarmas which are recommended to prevent the diseases occurring due to aggravated kapha in this season and to remain healthy. Now, after seeing the diet and regimen of Vasanta Ritu, let's just quickly understand how this Vasanta Rutucharya has been incorporated in our festivals. Now, we have seen earlier that Vasanta Ritu marks the beginning of the new year all over the India. Across every part of the country, this season has a festival which is celebrated as the new year for that state or community. You can see that in the picture. It is celebrated with different names, but if you just see the things or the rituals that have been incorporated in the methods of celebration of these festivals, you will see there are certain elements which are specific, which are derived because of or to spread the message of Rutucharya in this season. For example, there are two festivals, which is Gudi Padwa celebrated in Maharashtra as a new year, and then there is Ugadi or Yugadi, which is celebrated in Andhra and Karnataka. In both these festivals, a thing that is given as a prasadam includes interesting element which is neem. So neem is a herb. You all are well aware of it. It is widely available. It is a medicine which is given to you by an Ayurveda practitioner. But in spite of being a medicine, it is given as a prasadam in these two festivals. Why? Because if you look at the properties of neem, you will understand that it is bitter and astringent in taste. It reduces the kapha dosha or aggravated kapha dosha in your body, and it has a drying nature. So all these properties are desirable when you are considering the Rutucharya or a specific seasonal regimen for the Vasanta Ritu. And therefore, even if a person does not know the scientific basis or the rationale behind using these in the daily routine, When he celebrates a festival in a certain way, in this method, he eats the prasadam, his health will be taken care of. And also it sends out a message that in the coming season, you need to consume these things more or on a daily basis to keep yourself healthy and fit. Therefore, it is very important to celebrate all the festivals in a way they have been taught to us traditionally, so that even indirectly we will be following the Rutucharya and keeping ourselves healthy and fit. So this was about the topic of Rutucharya and specifically the Vasanta Rutucharya. If you want to read more such interesting articles in Ayurveda, if you want to read the Rutucharya about all the other seasons, then do visit our website. We have a category, Ayurveda category in Dharmawiki, where the Rutucharya for every season is available as a separate page. And along with that, there are many other interesting topics in Ayurveda which you can easily read, understand, and comprehend, and make use of this knowledge to improve your health and well-being. So I wish you all a very happy and smooth transition across the seasons and a very happy new year. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Devashriji, for a very well organized talk, starting right from explaining the word Rutucharya, the two terms Rutu and Charya, in relation to the time, the Panchamahabhutas, the integral relationship between man and nature, the importance of elemental balance, the dosha-season relationship, and what effect it has on the bodily agni, and the need for Rutucharya to maintain that agni in a good state, and explaining Rutucharya as the natural method to stay healthy and to increase host immunity. And very interestingly, you also brought out how this age-old knowledge of Rutucharya has been incorporated in traditional practices, going further, explaining beautifully the seasonal Rutucharya for Vasanta Rutu. It was a wonderful talk listening to you. We now request participants, if they have any questions, they may kindly post the same on the chat box. We have also posted a feedback link. You can fill the feedback form and you will receive a participation certificate. Any questions can be posted on the chat. Also, we had a question regarding the PPT. All the information that Devashri ji has currently spoken about, she has beautifully also written as articles on Dharmawiki. So all this knowledge you can read by visiting dharmawiki.org and browsing through the articles, especially in the Ayurveda section. So you can see this is the category page of Ayurveda, where you will find articles on different topics of importance from the tradition of Ayurveda, medicinal tradition of Ayurveda. So thank you once again, Devashri ji. As of now, I don't see any questions on the chat box. We are indeed thankful to you for giving us such a detailed and a wonderful presentation. We also thank the participants for having taken the time out to attend today's session. And we eagerly look forward to seeing you all at the 4th session in Dharmawiki Talks, which is titled Shraddha and Bhakti, a conceptual exploration, which is scheduled on Saturday, the 8th of April, 2023 at 4 p.m. IST. Thanks once again to all the participants and to our team member and author speaker, Devashri ji. So with this, we conclude today's session.